So today we are going to learn how to make pancakes. Very nice, fluffy, soft, flavorful pancakes. And with us we have ingredients over here. We do have milk, a good amount of milk, because depending on the consistency that you want and the thickness or thinness of the pancake that you want, you'll need a good amount of fluid. We have orange juice, with one orange juice with us for flavor and good taste. We have 2 eggs here. And we have we have sugar, 3 tablespoons of sugar. Again, you must consider how much sugar you put. The more sugar you put on your paste, the less pancakes will be consumed, but they will be very sweet. So if you have kids and you don't want them to consume a lot, that's the way to go. We also have cumin seeds. This is a 1/2 tablespoon, and we have 1 tablespoon baking powder, and we have our flour. And this is our mixing tray. And in the flour, I've grated lemon rind. Did not show that because just for flavor again. So we're going to do our mixing, and the first thing we want to do, we want to mix our dry ingredients first. Baking powder will go in there, and cumins will go in there, and we just mix them. You mix them well so that they mix. Should you find that the sugar is too little in your mixture, then you're allowed to add to your taste. Most people would add salt, but I don't prefer adding salt to my mixture. So doing that, what I want to do is turn this into a much bigger bowl. Right. So what I want to do on the side is just mix again this on this bowl, the eggs and the lemon juice, and beat it. I love the taste of lemon juice on pancake, and the aroma. Orange juice, sorry, and the aroma, and you eating it. The bites are really nice, you know. Right, so we have our mixture here, and what we're going to do, we are going to add our egg mixture here. Again, you have to be very careful when using eggs. There are people who don't like the taste of eggs, and again, you don't have to cook pancakes with eggs. You can do milk, and you can also do just water without milk or anything. There are people who are sensitive to most of these things. So considering the kind of people you have around you, again, you want to just do things the right way. We add milk in bits as we stir. If you have a whisk, the better. Unfortunately, we don't have whisk, so we just choose what we have for this purpose. What you don't want at the end of this, you don't want lumps. So adding milk step by step will also enable you to actually break the lumps. As it thickens, you realize that the more you beat it, the more lumps break easily. So we just mix it, and mix it well. The more power you put to it, the better the lumps break, and the smoother paste you will have. You also have to be very careful with cumin as you add cumin to you, and you don't want to put too much again. Just want that blast of taste when you're biting that point. A brother of mine challenged me for this, so we are doing a pancake challenge for a group that we are in, and you want to see what happens after all this. Again, like I said, the consistency of the paste all depends on you. If you want a lighter pancake, you'll make the paste light, as light as you'd wish to. If you want it thick, heavy, make it heavy. Mine is just between light and heavy, and I think As you can see, the consistency is just right, and I'd advise you that this is the best consistency paste for pancakes. Right, so after mixing, you want to add a little oil, and the reason why you add oil is so that it doesn't stick on the pan. Just enough. You don't need to do too much, just enough. When the heat hits the paste, the oil goes under the pancake on the pan, and that is why it does not stick, and that is why it cooks. So the oil is really an integral part of this mixture if you want to have those nice fluffy pancakes, as opposed to adding it to pan. This is probably the best way to do it, because again, it doesn't turn out to be oily. It's a really nice paste. If you want to do, you mix it, then you realize that the oil is completely mixed with the flour, with the paste, and you can't see it anymore. So what we are going to do next is we're going to heat our pan, and we'll come back when doing our first cooking on the pan. Thank you. So guys, our pan is nicely heated up. So what we are going to do, just going to add a spoonful of paste. You can either choose to leave it like that or just spread it around, depending again on the size that you want. Just be precise with the circle. Leave it for a while as it cooks. And the reason why you put baking powder or baking soda in your flour is so that the things that you see happening here, the bubbles, the opening up of the paste, which is very important when you're cooking pancakes, because then it needs to cook from inside, So you'll just be looking at it, looking around the sides. If the sides start brown, then you'll know that the under is cooked already. But then again, you also want to check on the paste that is on top. As it reduces, then it continues to cook from below. And what you don't want to do is burn your pancake, right? The oil that we did put, this is what it does. Look carefully. This is why it comes out easily. It's not because the pan is non-stick, but because you did put oil. And that is how your pancake should look like. Nicely brown, a good size, and just a little bit thick. So there are ways in which you can actually make this interesting. You can choose to, like I said, if you want to make it light, you make your paste very light, and then just pour it in pan and turn the pan around so that it spreads nicely well around the pan and allow it to cook again. So when we're looking at it, our pancake is already ready. You can see for yourself the way the other side looks, and the color is really damn, this one is so nice. So we just put this aside and do a second one like that. Right, so let's try a second one. Pour it down there, spread it, and allow it to cook. And it's good to know that the reason why it's called a pancake, it's because the paste is actually a cake mix. If you were to thicken this a little, then you'd comfortably bake a cake with it. And because it's being prepared in a pan, it's just a pancake. Okay. So you also want to be careful with your heat, especially when using a light pan. Because what happens if you do that, if the heat is too much, then it will, when you are putting your paste on the pan, it will form bubbles underneath the pan. Simply meaning that yes, it will cook, but it will cook leaving other places. The brownness won't be even from the bottom. So you want that to be even as much as you want to try as much as you can, like this, right? So this is what you need to see at the bottom of your pancake when you turn it around, right? So if the heat was to be too much, then this area would have too much of this. This only happens because we spread it around, but not because the heat was too much. So it did not really hold on to the pan as much as it should have been. So right, this is our second pancake. Oh man, I know, wherever you are, my brother, you gave us a challenge. We need to go back to the drawing board, and we'll just take this and do one more. So we put that on our plate. Right, so we'll do one more. Okay. Cooking should be fun. Cooking is mostly a story of your life. If you were to sit and consider the journey of your life and liken it to food, then you realize there's so much that goes on that you can actually relate to when you're cooking food. Every good thing has to go through a fire, and the very little things that happen in your life, the good and the bad, really makes you who you are. You want to be valuable in the society, you must have gone through something to give a story. And those are the stories that people cherish, stories that change lives. Food is tasty when it's well done, when time is taken to prepare it, when it's nicely cooked. And a lot of patience is required in it, by the way. So, look at that. Oh, look at that. Right? Look at that. You know? You have to enjoy when you're cooking. It has to be enjoyable. It has to be fun. It has to be, and that is what you expect. But I want to show you one last thing before I turn my video off. I'll take this off the fire. You just want to see how it looks from the bottom. So we'll take this off the heat. I want to show you something. Normally when your paste is settling, it turns out to be thicker than when you are using it at first, but that's okay. You can always add fluid, but I want to show you something. You can just pour your fluid on the pan, your paste on the pan, and let it be. Now, this gives you a much thicker pancake. Alright? But what you don't want is to have a lot of heat on this. Because if the heat is too much, then it will burn from under before actually cooking from the top. And again, you have to be very patient when cooking. Pancakes takes a lot of time. You have to prepare early, wake up early if it's for breakfast, And if it's a snack, again, you still have to do it, prepare everything early enough, and then everything will be set and in place. So when you look at this, you see what is happening. It swells, It swells, it becomes a little bit thicker. And if you want it even much thicker, then your paste has to be thick in consistency, but then again the heat has to be low. So you have to consider all those stages: the heat, the thickness of your heat, and the consistency of your paste. That is what gives you a perfect pancake. So you look at that and you see what is happening. Right, you can see the cumin around. It gives you a burst of flavor when you actually bite that area of the cumin. And when I look at this, I can tell that from the bottom it's already cooked. So what we'll do, we'll just take it and turn it around. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, we've taken the challenge, and we call on you, those who have not taken the challenge, to join us in this challenge. This corona thing, mazee, inatupatia time nzuri ya kuexperience vitu vingine, But brothers, take the challenge, mazee. And thank you, Saint, for making this possible. Ulikuwa umesema unatengeza hii kumake bibi akuwe happy. My friend, wait, I need your reviews on these ones too. And let's enjoy our pancakes. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.